Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, welcome. I'm Kim Serafini. I'm often asked about the statements that you read or can see in each of our Positive Prime sessions. So I thought I'd give you a little clue about the process that goes on in the background, the foundation, and as to why we do what we do and how we do what we do. So in short, you're going to see various types of statements. Let's center around a theme, shall we, so that we really appreciate what's going on. First of all, we have the aspects of us as human beings and our identity, and we love to be right. We really have this insatiable necessity to be right. And that's because in caveman days or in our evolutionary makeup, we actually had to be able to assess threats. And our limbic system, or really the amygdala functioning of our brain, was reliant upon us being accurate or correct in assessing whether or evaluating whether that saber-toothed tiger was actually going to kill us, for example. So we actually developed in the reptilian part of our brain this incredible desire and necessity to be right. Now what that means is that if I read a statement that says, I am wonderful, I will actually have, in an automatic and very natural, authentic way, my brain going off in search of evidence to prove to myself that I am indeed wonderful. And that starts to reinforce my beliefs about myself and actually influence my self-talk. Of course, this is all about how we actually develop and change our confidence and our self-esteem and so many other aspects of the way that we actually do life, who we're being and how we're showing up. But interestingly enough, because we as human beings believe what others actually say to us, particularly when we were children, if somebody that you admired and respected and you loved and you were connected to, or if you were in a really heightened emotional intense state, if they said to me, "You are wonderful," guess what? I would actually then lock that in and I would go and search for more and more evidence to prove to myself that I am in fact wonderful. And I believe others when they repeat and reinforce to me that by saying, "You are wonderful." But what we now know in terms of change management and all sorts of absolutely fabulous techniques and tools and strategies that we've learned from the fields of positive psychology and neuroscience and self-improvement and human potential is that if I also ask myself a question, I will indeed get really great answers if they're good quality questions. So if I say to myself, how could I actually share the wonderful aspects of myself with others? I will actually figure out a way to do that. So one of the things that I think is very important is that you pay attention to the questions in each of the sessions that you're reading and allow yourself to be curious and to be really creative with very positive answers to those questions. So the other thing that you will also notice that is something very dear to my heart, and that is this concentration or the focus on gratitude or appreciation and thankfulness in each and every single one of our sessions. So I actually might see a statement that says, "Thank you for helping me to feel wonderful," or "Thank you for those people in my life who see me as wonderful." And that's just an example with that one key theme of being wonderful. So you'll notice that there are a certain number of statements that are I am statements. You'll also notice there are a certain number of statements that are you are statements, and they're very important. They're absolutely essential to the process of successful, enduring, rapid change. You'll also see lots of statements that relate to thankfulness, gratitude, and appreciation. There's so much research. You could actually Google Emmons and McCulloch and the psychology of gratitude if you wanted to understand the scientific studies around gratitude. But I have to tell you, it is absolutely key to living a life where you're thriving and you're happy and healthy and more successful. So one of the other things that you will actually see about these statements is that we actually have So many incredible people who are giving you very wise advice. They're teaching through these very short, sharp, concise, powerful statements that you're reading. They're their best pieces of advice or suggestions or recommendations, their wisdom, their insights. It's like having them as a very personal coach, kind of sitting on your shoulder, and they're reminding you of the kinds of things that will inspire your thinking and inspire the way that you behave and show up in the world and who you're being. So make sure you take the time to really read the statements on a slower speed as you become familiar and fall in love with each of the new statements that you see, and in fact all of the new sessions that you add to your library. So I hope that helps, and if you've got any questions, of course, please do get in touch with us. Thanks so much. Ciao.